What's that, Marjorie? It's time for a garden video? Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to the DeHart house. My name is Alicia and I'm your host of this usually crafty channel here on YouTube. I am out in the garden today. It is mid-April and it's time for a tour of the garden. And yes, things have finally changed and they look different out here. Hopefully you can see Marjorie running around behind me. Yep, there she goes. She runs along the back edge of the yard all the time. Over there is a high school, and folks like to go use the area to walk their dogs and such over the weekend. Anyway, I'm going to take you around the garden, show you what's growing, and things that have changed out here. It is a rainy day. We are into the spring rainy season. Which doesn't mean necessarily pouring rain, it just means lots of drizzling. So if the rain gets a little too intense, I'll have to pause the recording. Let's hope I can fit all of this in this window. Hey Marjorie, do you want to say hello to your viewers? She's looking for you guys in the front yard. So up here by the house, these pots were in the front yard. They have, 3 of them have strawberry plants in them. I really need to move the strawberries out of those pots and into a garden plot somewhere. It's just a matter of deciding where. That 4th pot I just filled with fresh compost, and I'm gonna plant a bunch of salad greens in there and basically just have like a variety salad pack in there, and I'm gonna experiment with that. But up in the trellis bed here, you can see the garlic looks amazing. So I got a whole row of garlic here. And this first bed here, I'm reserving the trellis part for cucumbers. So I don't have anything in there now. Once it gets warm enough, because it's still getting down into the low 40s, high 30s at night, which is a little too cold for cucumbers. So once we get past that, I'll be coming out here and planting seeds right away. But the second half back here have peas. So I came out and planted a bunch of pea seeds way back when, February or March, I can't remember. And they've come up. Not all of them sprouted, so I went back through and planted pea seeds in between these, and they're just now starting to come up right here. There's a little baby pea plant, and there's one there too, little baby pea plant, which is nice. Then they won't all be exactly the same age and spread out the harvest just a little bit. But yeah, garlic and peas here in the trellis bed. Oh, here comes some rain. Up here by the house, I picked out all the weeds. There's still some behind this Brussels sprout here that I can't really get to easily, but I picked out the weeds. I need to go buy more mulch, but I mulched right here, and then here's exposed dirt. But I took out the Brussels sprouts and the cabbages. They're all going to flower. As you can see here, like, this is not creating a head of cabbage, it's definitely bolting. So I left the biggest Brussels sprout plant, I left that to flower and make more seeds for me. The rest I went ahead and ripped out. The cabbage plants, I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. Some of these have like good leaves. I should harvest like ASAP and eat them. This looks like a sneaky little garlic that is growing underneath this cabbage, which was an interesting find when I was picking weeds. But what I did do is I planted some of my onions back here. So I took out the Brussels sprouts, made some room, I planted these onions. My plan later, when it gets warmer, is that the cabbages will be all gone by then, but I'll be planting cotton plants in here amongst the onions, and hopefully the onions will help with some of the pests. Some of the bugs really don't like garlic and onions, and so they can help with some of that pest control. But my thought is to put cotton up here in this bed, so these will definitely be out before then because these guys don't like the heat and cotton loves the heat. Over on the west side, so I had cabbage, kale, broccoli, all growing through here throughout the wintertime. You can see they're all popping up, right, and flowering. So they're not staying low to the ground, making a whole head. They're shooting up with flowers. So I've been coming through here, and there used to be more kale plants. I've been harvesting the whole plant, taking off all the leaves and making kale chips out of them. Oh my gosh, you guys. These kale chips are amazing. I'm gonna have to like do a video about my recipe or something because they are the bomb. But yeah, so I'm just coming through and taking things out. I haven't added anything to this bed since last time. So the spinach is still here. You can see I need to weed this bed. There's the spinach. And the garlic is doing well. But yeah, this is all here. You can see it's mega full of weeds. All the beds have been. I've been slowly getting through them. Compost bin, I finally emptied all the fresh compost. In fact, I'm about to show you. I laid it all down over there on the east side. So I've got one bin emptied. So my fresh bed I'll be turning sometime this week over into the other bin and just getting more air into the pile. I need wipers for my glasses. Alright, so here's the east side. Like I said, it was full of weeds just like that other side. Now you can actually see what I have planted here. I've got garlic. So they're in bundles of like 4 or 5 garlic. Here I've got on either side kale plants. Again, those alliums are supposed to help from what I've been reading with maybe some of the aphid problem and such. So I'm trying it out. I don't think it's a bad idea to spread things out. So I've got garlic with kale here, just garlic, garlic with kale, garlic with spinach, you know, just kind of spreading them out a bit. Yesterday, I actually came out, you can't see anything now, but I put some potatoes in and I thought I'd kind of create a garden that has things spread out instead of like, you know, 3 feet potatoes and 3 feet of lettuce and 3 feet of whatever, just kind of spreading them out. So I put 2 potatoes here, I put 2 potatoes there behind the garlic, and I put 2 more potatoes behind that garlic. My plan is to put zucchini plants in between here. Yeah, I just think that's gonna look so pretty. But yeah, this kale is a different kale than the other one. This is more of like that curly leaf kale, and the other one was, I can't remember the name. I gotta look up these names. But this is the kale I think of when people talk about kale. And yeah, so those are doing pretty well. Garlic and kale, again, looking pretty good. In the back I have a whole row of just broccoli, and then I added more. I'm not sure what some of these are. This one maybe is a broccoli. This is one of those brassicas in the house that didn't have a label, and I'm like, I can't remember what that is. Well, it's doing well, so I moved it out here. Broccoli all along back there. I put some onion seeds right here, and I'm hoping they sprout, but I don't know, guys. I also think some critter is getting into my garden over here, and it may be my own dog. It may be my own dog. Anyway, I got some green leaf lettuce back here. I need to trim them up a bit, eat some of the leaves, help these get going a bit more. But yeah, I definitely need more mulch because I've only mulched this little bit here. The rest is all exposed compost. If I don't cover it with something, it's just gonna grow weeds in a hurry. Alright, I'm in the front yard, but I'm on the front porch because it is like raining. So I'm gonna try to show you the flowers in the front yard, which are beautiful, from the front porch. So right up here in the front yard, out by the end of the driveway, this is my main bulb bed. And so the tulips and the daffodils are up and out and beautiful, and I just love it. Last fall, I had some leftover bulbs, so I took them and planted some over here just to try to add like a splash of color around. So what I'd like to do is start setting up my bed so that, you know, it's more, it's not just a springtime bed and then a summertime bed, but I can get some tulips blooming here in the spring so that you can see a few of them up here. But this plant here is a rose bush, and so that'll bloom later. That plant there is hydrangea, and so that'll bloom later. I also have some dahlia tubers in the ground, and so those will bloom in summer. So if I can get this so that kind of something is always blooming here, that would be nice. Up along the house, there's all of these daffodils, and there's like one hyacinth, and there's these bluebells and stuff. And I didn't plant any of this. This is from the previous owners. But they all came up and bloomed this year. And I didn't even know that these existed because they have not bloomed. This is the first year that they have done that, so it's just a really nice splash of color. So I think I don't need to start tomato plants in February because these are way too tall for my grow lights here. And this plant has tomatoes. So remind me next year not to start tomato plants in February.
You don't ever tell me what you're doing, so make it hard.
That's okay. I'm talking to my viewers on here.